My next guest was nominated for an Academy Award last year for his role in The Karate Kid, and he has just completed the sequel, which is called, would you believe this, The Karate Kid 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Morita.
If you only know Pat Morita as Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid movies, it's very surprising to see him as a stand-up comedian.
Wow, these lights, they make my eyes squint. Oh, look, don't misunderstand me. I'm of Japanese extraction, but I was born and raised around San Francisco, and that just goes to prove that we weren't all made in Japan. Oh, look, I know a lot about Japan. Working a club isn't like working. I don't have what we call an act, you know. I figured my people lost a war, why act? And I know this from experience because, as you know, last fall when I took a little break from the clubs, I went to Japan, and that was wild, looking like all them people and them not being able to talk like me. And I would get like a lot of nutty questions, you know, like, why you not speak Japanese? And I would make up one excuse after another, you know. Tell them I'm an Irish Italian suffering from jaundice. But really, honestly, I've got to be very honest with you and just admit that ethnically I'm a failure. I mean, like, I flunked paper folding. To this day, I can't get a road map back into my glove compartment.
He appeared in a number of sitcoms and is probably best remembered as Arnold Takahashi on Happy Days.
See, I speak Japanese, Chinese, Korean, a little Hungarian.
Well, tell me something. What do you consider yourself?
Good looking.
I spent 9 years in a hospital when I was a youngster. I had spinal tuberculosis. And in those days, any kind, in the 30s now we're talking about, anybody that got tuberculosis practically died because there was no medication.
They said this kid would never walk.
And I walked from the hospital into camp.
I was escorted from the hospital by an FBI guy to join my parents at an internment camp in the middle of Arizona.
Tell about how you opened your act one time about the Pearl Harbor. Tell the next thing what you said.
What did I say? I forgot.
About the bombing. Where after they bombed? Was it?
The what?
They bombed, I can't remember. The Pearl Harbor bombed the thing and you were...
Oh, and I would look at them and say, on behalf of my people, I'm so sorry for screwing up your harbor. I was just an innocent kid.
He also appeared alongside his mentor Red Fox on Sanford & Son.
So I introduced myself. Hi, Red. I'm Pat Morita, and I'm a comic, and I'd like to work for you. And he goes like, Pat Morita, Pat Morita, Pat Morita. That sounds Italian. Why don't you go out and get a good Japanese name like Honda, Mitsubishi, Panasonic, Sony, you know.
But Noriyuki was the name my parents gave me.
Comics about that time, they were either a Jackie this or a Pat that and a Pat Fit. I mean, I don't look like a Jackie.
No.
Pat came from a very early exposure in my childhood to a priest who was the main guy for all the kids I grew up with.
The only Catholics in the ward were Hispanic, and I think a couple of Native American kids and some Irish.
And I always kind of wanted to be part of the gang. And you guys get to go to confession and do them beads and stuff, you know.
Father O'Connor befriended me, long story short, and he said, I'll never forget his wonderful quotation. He says, and if one day I ever convert you, you little heathen, your name will be Patrick Aloysius Ignatius Xavier Noriyuki Morita.
He left Happy Days to star in his own sitcom, a spin-off of Welcome Back, Kotter called Mr. T and Tina, as the titular Mr. Takahashi, no relation to Arnold.
We're sorry we made jokes on your height. Behavior isn't sporty. So now we're gonna say what's right. Good luck in Chicago, shorty.
Mr. T and Tina was the first ever American sitcom to feature an Asian American actor in the lead role. He was in his 50s when he starred in the Karate Kid movies as Mr. Miyagi, a role that would earn him an Oscar nomination.
Wax off, left hand. Wax on.
Whenever my name came up from casting people and whatever, Jerry Weintraub, the producer, said, no, I don't want a comic, dude. This is not a comics role. I want an actor. Find me an actor. We got to get it. Must be in all of America. Get me an actor.
He continued working until his death in 2005, appearing in TV shows, movies, commercials, and even starring in his own short-lived detective series, O'Hara. With each project he did, he managed to bring along his trademark charm and wit.
Utilizing humor as a wonderful tool to heal a lot of miserableness in this world. Arnold had this capacity to just kind of crack you up when you least expected it, and it just superseded any kind of whatever stereotypical thinking people may have.
Would you just say goodbye in another language?
Oh, sure. Adios, amigos.